Thank you very much. Thank you to the host. Thank you to Kaunas. Thank you to the UNHCR. Thank you to the Nordic Council and to Lithuania for hosting us. It's a very interesting and very pragmatic also conference. In this panel, we will look more closely at how integration and inclusion can be built locally by working together, by building a holistic approach, collaborating with various actors, both horizontally, civil society, business, and refugees themselves, as well as vertically, different levels of government, in the various sectors where cities provide services and fulfill the needs of migrants and refugees. I welcome to the panel Olga Gren, coordinator at the Welcome House in Stockholm. Janika, Hango, head of the Adaptation integration in the city of Tartu, Estonia. And Marit, Cathrine Karlsen from the refugee service in Tromsø municipality in Norway. We will start by briefly introducing our respective work through quick PowerPoint presentation so that you have a picture of where we come from and how we deal with these issues. And then we will have some more interactive discussions, also open for your intervention and questions. So my name is Rita Marascalchi. I work in the Council of Europe. I'll give you a snapshot of what I do. The Council of Europe, just a brief disclaimer, it's an international, just a bit explanation. It's an international organization, intergovernmental. It's different from the EU. It has a wider membership, 46 member states. It's normally identified with the home of the European Convention of Human Rights, to which all residents in cities that are members can claim their rights. I work in the Intercultural Inclusion Unit and cover basically three main streams of work. We manage the Intercultural Cities program. It's both a capacity building and a network of cities that expands throughout the world, not only in Europe, that are committed to advance inclusion, and we support them in building strategies to this end. We also support intergovernmental exchange, standard setting, which is the main business of our organization, and dialogue internationally to identify challenges and to set standards. This is done through a committee of experts on intercultural inclusion, which is quite unique in the Council of Europe because it comprises the three levels: local authorities, regional authorities, and member states. And we implement cooperation projects where we work with member states to improve their integration policies and strategies. Again, trying to improve collaboration and multi-level governance. We call our our network Intercultural Inclusive Cities, and we call our committee of experts on intercultural inclusion. So why intercultural? In the Council of Europe, we understand intercultural integration as a policy approach that regards diversity as a resource and not a problem. And it also acknowledges that it's a two-way process and that it requires the entire society to change and to embrace it. We normally refer to four main pillars or ingredients: so equality, equal rights, equal access to services, equal opportunities, which pertains to mostly to the legal and policy frameworks. But diversity is an important element, diversity that is seen as an asset, but which translates into having a positive vision, having a positive identity that is pluralistic, that embraces diversities, and positive attitudes. This can be achieved through interaction, so it's not enough to have rules, but people from different backgrounds need to have occasion, need to have places where they can meet each other, get to know each other, build trust, and build a shared vision. And participation. To build trust, to have a shared identity, everybody's voice needs to be heard, to be part of the process. So you need processes, you need methodologies, so that everybody can contribute and build that sense of belonging that was also mentioned before. Our flagship program, the Intercultural Cities, with over 150 members, is based on evidence tools to allow them to build evidence-based policies. We provide capacity building. We give them access to international expertise and policy advice. And it's very much what this project is also about. It's about peer-to-peer learning, peer-to-peer exchanges, networking, and peer-to-peer support, because ultimately what our members like the most is the opportunity to be part of a community of like-minded and motivated professionals and experts that work towards a shared vision, a shared goal, and they can also support each other when things become challenging. So this is in a nutshell what I do, and thank you for your attention. Here you have contacts if you wish to explore more. And with that, I welcome my co-panelist or my panelist to introduce themselves and run us through their main activities that will give us the basis to discuss and exchange experience on how different cities in different countries build structures to welcome migrants and refugees. So, Olga, you're the first. Maybe.
We go down so we can see the presentations.
Maybe.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. I'm very happy to introduce to you about Welcome House, which is part of the city of Stockholm. And in Sweden, a lot of the responsibility when it comes to receiving refugees lies on the local governments, the municipalities, and this is the city of Stockholm's answer to that. Stockholm is also the biggest municipality in Sweden, and there are quite a lot of different stakeholders that are important in the integration process. So Welcome House aim is gathering those stakeholders together and collaborating with them and strengthening that collaboration, and together offer collective support to the newcomers in Stockholm. And Welcome House opened its doors in late 2021. Welcome House is an umbrella term for different stakeholders that are located in the house or that collaborate with us closely. First, we have Social Services Administration, which is part of the city of Stockholm, that take care of the initial part of the refugees. And they offer them a contact person or a social guide during the initial period, as well as social housing or economic support for those who need it. Then the second part is the labor market administration that offers support that aims for better integration on the labor market and result in employment or enrollment in study programs. We work very closely with the national governmental organizations, as they are the ones in Sweden that are responsible for the obligatory programs that refugees have to partake in. So, of course, the collaboration with them is very close. We also have the healthcare services with us, Region Stockholm, with their special expertise on migrant health support. And last but not least, a crucial actor with very deep-rooted trust among the target group, which is the civil society. So having all of those stakeholders in one place and located at one address where the newcomers can come and turn to with their questions, together we hope to make the process less complicated and resulting in better integration. This is Welcome House current offer. The clients that come to us can get support with finding work and job coaching, study guidance, digital support, such as courses in how to use computer or smartphones. We can help them find a leisure activity in collaboration with local associations that matches their interests, where they can practice Swedish and build a network while having fun. health guidance, social guidance and a contact person that supports during the initial period, economical support for those who need it and are eligible for it, a support team that can offer extra support for those who need it, guidance with starting a business in Sweden, as well as many different activities every week. And the offer is constantly changing. It all depends what the target group actually needs as we ask them on a regular basis. Is there something more that we can offer? And I will come back to that. Our clients can visit Welcome House 4 days a week. It's our drop-in service. There is no appointment needed, and the drop-in service is operated by all of the stakeholders that reside in the house, and also in close collaboration with the national governmental services that we can refer to if there is a need for that. Every week we offer different activities, courses, job fairs, health events, and many more. It's also possible to book a meeting with all the different specialists that are in the house. And since last month, we also have opened one evening a week for a new initiative, which is called Meeting Point Welcome House. In the conversation with our target group, which are refugees coming to Stockholm, and the service that we make with them, something that comes up very often is the feeling of loneliness when coming to Sweden as a newcomer, not having any network or any friends. And to combat that, we started a new initiative called Meeting Point Welcome House, one evening a week, where the focus lies on creating meetings between locals and newcomers. And the Meeting Point is run in collaboration with civil society organizations that offer different activities such as dancing, singing, language cafe, many activities for children, and many more. And as part of the initiative, we also joined the UNHCR-supported community support program, in which local citizens and communities act as welcome guides for newly arrived households and support them during their initial period to accommodate to new culture and traditions. Last thing I wanted to highlight in this short presentation is the outreach work that we do at Welcome House together with different stakeholders. There are still so many that we haven't reached, and there are also many that won't be able to come to us physically because of different reasons. And we feel like it is our duty to better reach out to them and inform them about their rights and possibilities for support. So together and in collaboration with social housing resources, language schools, civil society, Stockholm healthcare services, and different municipal organizations, we visit places that are familiar to the target group, that they already have visited, or the places that they actually live at, which has already resulted in a significant increase of visits to Welcome House and even other initiatives. So it's something that we're going to continue doing. Thank you so much for listening. I'm looking forward to discuss it more and answering your questions.
Thank you very much, Olga. Now it's the turn of Janika Hango, coming closer to here from Estonia, Tartu, the head of the Adaptation and Integration.
Hello, I come from Tartu, and I am telling you a little bit about Tartu. Tartu is the second biggest city in Estonia, and it is the university city, which means that there is a constant battle between capital city and university city, which is better, which is more important, and so on. You can imagine it. In 2019, the city of Tartu and two main universities in Tartu, Tartu University and Estonian Life Science University, decided to kind of be more proud and to create a center for the first idea was for seeking talents. So there was always coming newcomers, new foreigners, students, international lecturers into the university city, of course. And the city and two universities decided that they want to keep them in the city as long as possible, and to take them and welcome them as good as possible. So they created NGO, Tartu Welcome Center. And since 2019, I am the leader of this Tartu Welcome Center. And now already more than a year, my position is under the public relations in the city government of Tartu, but I'm still working in Tartu Welcome Center. So, original idea to meet and help the talents was good enough for the university city, but then things happened. In 2022, we had to challenge newcomers. We switched the language in which we were counseling our customers and the topics as well. By now, we are already back in more or less original type of work. But we never know what future brings and what new challenges we might face. But the beauty of having this small NGO under the strong roof, or strong supporters like city and two universities, the beauty is that we can change. We can change quickly. We can change based on what are the needs in the city or needs in the universities. So we can be really flexible. Huge organizations like city itself and universities themselves, they are not able to change their work style so quickly. And it's much easier for us. I know that pictures say much more than words. So now I would like to invite you to Tartu Welcome Center. So we will start my little video, which was made in the end of last year, when we celebrated the 5th year of acting in this field. And we, with this video, we introduced our everyday work to people who work for city government. So now it is translated for you using AI, and let's see how it works.
Welcome to our Foreigners Service Center, or as our students and clients like to call us, Tartu Welcome Center. I am Janika Hango, and since March of this year, I have been the head of the integration and adaptation sector for the city of Tartu. Along with that, I work here at the Tartu Welcome Center. I am a board member of this non-profit organization. I create and manage this center, fill it with content, and report when necessary. We aim to do this together in a way that Tartu becomes a better place for everyone to live in. You are in the room where all our clients come when they need some help from us. Here we fill out applications, issue ID codes, register residences, and offer consultations related to these services. We have a lovely tradition. When a person from a new country arrives, and we can identify this while they are still with us, we let them place a pin on our world map. Each year, over 80 countries are represented by citizens who visit us, and a total of over 100 different countries have visited so far. When we think about it, there are a little over 200 countries in the world, so we have already covered about half of them. All those coming to Tartu to study, work, live, or stay for some other reason for an extended period usually need an ID code, residence registration, and some official assistance and guidance on how to move forward, because they are entering an unfamiliar environment. They probably haven't been to Estonia before, let alone any official institutions, and we try to offer them the support and help they need. I am Marascalchi, and I am a counsellor at the Tartu Welcome Centre. New immigrants often have all sorts of questions related to adaptation, and these questions can vary greatly, from finding accommodation to locating a doctor. Of course, when the war in Ukraine started, our room was filled daily with war refugees, primarily mothers with small children. We have a nice tradition here of bringing food from home, like fruits and so on, and one small child saw an apple on my table. Naturally, I gave my apple to the child, and not long after, the family came back with a big bag of apples. You never expect something like this, but it felt so natural, and we've had other similar situations where we've helped those in need with food as well. This is our small private backroom. When the Ukraine crisis escalated, we realized we needed a more private space where we could occasionally separate from the chaos and speak more personally and calmly with people. During the first year of the war in Ukraine, an Ukrainian war refugee, who is a psychologist by profession, also held meetings here. She met with her fellow countrymen, provided counseling on various issues, and helped them cope with the crisis. This room is our lovely classroom. In this classroom, we have a language club on Thursdays. We have space for about 22 to 25 people here, and sometimes we've had small groups of 3, but other times, we've had 12 to 13 participants. It was especially lovely when Karen joined our club. Karen came to Estonia from the United States, but her father had once lived in Estonia and fled during the war. Her mother was Swedish, and Karen was trying to learn Estonian, which was very difficult for her. To our great surprise, it turned out that Karen was also a writer. Before she left, she gifted us her book, and we're taking our time, but we will read it soon.
What I forgot to mention, but you probably already noticed from the video, is that yes, we are using European funds as well, but we are not only based on the different projects. And it is a huge advantage because of these 3 founders, city and 2 universities. They pay the annual fee to be members of this NGO, and that's why we have kind of more stable future, and we don't have to consider only the end of this project and start a new one. So that's all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Janika, already illustrating some strategic partnership. Now it's the turn of Marit Cathrine Karlsen from Norway, Tromsø municipality, illustrating the work of the refugee service.
Yes, thank you. Anyone been to Tromsø? Wow! So for those of you who don't know, this is a typical picture from Tromsø. It's in the far north of Norway, and it's known for the Arctic Cathedral, you can see over there, and the cable cart, and the Nordic lights. So we have a lot of tourists in the wintertime especially. But I'm here today, I'm not from the refugee service, because my friend from the refugees service was going to be here, but she got sick, so I stepped in on a short notice, but we collaborate a lot, so it shouldn't be a problem. I am an inspector at the Adult Education Center in Tromsø. So I'm both representing the school for adults, mostly refugees, and we offer Norwegian studies, social studies, primary school for adults, speech therapy, and special pedagogic for adults. But today I'm going to speak about collaboration between different units and branches in the municipality. So first I'm going to talk about Tromsø Municipality Refugee Service. It's not as fancy as Stockholm's model. It sounds wonderful to be under the same roof, but we're located in different spaces. But Tromsø Municipality Refugee Service is responsible for the settlement of refugees in the municipality. This includes unaccompanied children over 16 years of age. In the first period of the settlement process, the refugee service helps the refugees with the practical tasks such as registering of address and bank accounts, application for school and kindergarten. The refugee service has a coordinating and guiding role. If other services are needed, they help the refugee come in contact with them. They are also obligated to arrange for an introduction program within 3 months after settlement in the municipality. So a little bit about the introduction program. It's a training program intended to prepare the refugee for participation in the society through work and education. The program is regulated by the legal framework found in the Norwegian Integration Act. And for each refugee, it is individually adapted, and the main elements of the program are Norwegian language, social studies, work, and educational elements provided by different units in the municipality, not under the same roof. All refugees between the age of 18 to 55 can participate, and the duration of the program varies from 3 months up to 4 years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we collaborate between the different units in the municipality when it comes to the introduction program for those who have work as a goal. Since 2022, most of the refugees who have settled in Tromsø have been offered a work-oriented introductory program. This is a program where the main goal is that the refugee reach employment. So after the introductory program, the goal is employment. The duration of the program is 6 months, but it's possible to get an extension up to 6 months more, so totaling 12 months. Refugees in this work-oriented introductory programs has finished higher education before coming to Norway. And in 2023 and 2024, 70% of those in the introductory program with work as a goal were employed in Tromsø after finishing the introductory program. And this is something we're really proud of, because statistics from May 2024 shows that the national average in Norway was 45% employment. So we're doing something right, I hope. The work-based introductory program consists of 3 months Norwegian learning and 3 months full-time and 3 months work practice at a local business where you also get some Norwegian training. Yeah, so, and if needed, the period of practice can be extended up to 6 months, but only if this can help you reach the goal of employment. So in these introductory, work-based introductory programs, we have made a very good collaboration between 4 different units or factors. It's the Refugee Service Center, and it's the Norwegian Labor and Welfare Administration, the Adult Education Center, which I'm representing, and also it's a collaboration with local businesses. In order to achieve employment, we believe it's important to have the right competence at the right time in the program. And people working at the adult education centers are not specialists in the labor market, for instance. And we don't have to be, because we have the brilliant people at the Norwegian Labor and Welfare Administration. Yes. Okay. Just a moment. Yes. So I'm just going to show you how we work together. We have different stakeholders, the different offices or units hold the stakes in the process. This is how we organize the work-oriented introductory program. In short, the first 3 months, we at the Adult Education Center are holding the stake. The first 3 months, 1.5 month into this period, we have a kick-off for all the refugees that started at the same time, and they get information from all the different offices. They can answer questions and ask questions about the process they are heading into in practice. We made this so they could answer all the questions they had to the right people, and it has been really good. And then after 2 months in the program, they are meeting. They're having an intake meeting for practice, so each refugee gets a practice teacher at the Norwegian, the Adult Education Center, and they have a program coordinator from the Refugee Service Center, and they also have a job guider from the Welfare Administration. And they get to tell a little bit about themselves and get information about what is possible, where it's possible to get practice in Tromsø from the right people. And then they start a job searching training course after 3 months and start practice. And they also get some Norwegian training while they are in practice. Yes, I think that's my time.
Thank you very much. Let's continue and try to, as we are here, to learn from each other and to share our experience. So we've seen already a lot of collaboration with the civil society mentioned, with the academia, with the local authorities, also internally local authorities. In your respective field of work and experience, is there something that you would highlight as more challenging, any specific partner or stakeholder you found more difficult to work with, and would there be any advice you would give in this regard? Or is there anything you've learned that by working together with another actor, you found that it was a winning point? I think we can go as a round table.
Is this on? Yes. Yeah, I can start with challenges, as there are many, of course. Working with so many stakeholders will always be challenging, as we all have different priorities, different structures. But I think there are different ways to compromise. Also the structures when it comes to national government or local governments, they change constantly as we are organizations that are politically driven, and the fundings and capacities will change. And I think it's the same for our target group. It's a very diverse group, refugees with different experiences and different needs. So we also need to be flexible and give the support that is needed today. So many methods that maybe worked 10 years ago will not be working anymore today. For example, I don't think that there are very many people that could have predicted, like 10 years ago, how digitalized the Swedish governmental services will be. Swedish is so digital. And for a newcomer coming to Sweden, learning how to use those digital services is as important as learning the new language. So we had to adapt to that and offer courses in that as an addition to the language courses. And something I would like to highlight when it comes to those success factors is something we mentioned, all of us, before, and I also mentioned in my presentation, is the importance of civil society and their very special relationship that they have with refugees, as there are so many refugees that have higher level of trust to civil society than they have to both national and local government, and they feel much more comfortable turning to them with their questions that they have, for example, to social workers. So I think a success factor is involving them more in the dialogue and in the decision making.
Thank you.
The one challenge what also the first panel mentioned is this project-based culture, how to overcome that. And the second one, including these projects, are how not to put all the eggs in one basket. So yes, we are not only project-based, but still we are relying on a huge part on EU money as well. But in the fall in Estonia, for example, there are local elections. And it depends on the government, local government, if they decide if it is important work to continue in Tartu or not, to keep up this center what we are running. And then the kind of this general mindset of maybe officials who have worked in their positions many years, and so far they have been able to do it in Estonian language, no problems, they don't have to change or try to explain themselves to foreigners. And now it's kind of expected from them to do so. So this opening the mindset of our workers is also important. And what you mentioned is this secure space, to create the secure space that you are free to come, to ask your questions without thinking about how you will be arrested or prosecuted later. So that's, I think we have handled nicely that our welcome center feels welcome as well. So, and I think it is important.
Yes, so the question was key challenging, building and maintaining collaboration. Yeah, it's important that we have to use both leaders and coordinators, teachers in my line of work have to meet frequently to talk about the challenges, because there's always something not working perfect. So we have to have patience and tolerance for the challenges that each unit experiences and be open with each other. And when we're building relationships between the units and with the people we are collaborating with, we have a higher tolerance. And it's okay to say that, to be direct when things aren't working, because we know that we mean it in a good way. So I think that's important. Yeah.
Thank you. So you've lighted the fundamental role of civil society, the importance of...
One more thing, can I say?
Please.
Yes. Earlier someone was asking about how to the the difference between a project and getting it implemented. The model that I showed you it is implemented, but it is important that you get both politicians and leaders with us in the process, because sometimes you need to, funds must change unit. So funding going to one branch maybe get switched to another branch if the project is going to be implemented on a daily basis, something that's working, because maybe you need more from one branch than another. And that has been a successful factor in our work. Yeah.
Thank you. So we've heard how it's important to work with civil society, the contribution, the special contribution they can give. Also having a space seems to be an added value to build cooperation, but also to give a sense of welcoming. To be flexible, keep open dialogue with partners. The challenge is to ensure continuity when the political support might be lacking, and the challenge to make it systemic in this context and to have adequate resources. And this brings us to the other aspects. So besides cooperating and collaborating with the actors at the local level, which is your direct area of work, how's the relations or the support with the regions or with the national government? What are the main structures in place or the needs that are unmet? What is your experience in this regard?
So as I've mentioned before, in Sweden there are some obligatory programs for all refugees coming to Sweden, and they are owned by the national government. So in many ways our offer at Welcome House is complementary to the obligatory programs. So the dialogue that we have with the government is crucial for us, as we all very often depend on it, that they will send people to visit us as a part of a complementary program. Something I have to say is we've been talking about the political climate, and it helps also switch in Sweden. It's become very cold, and it is really reflected in the laws and new propositions towards refugees that are stricter, with higher requirements and penalties. And it is something that is very contradictory to what Welcome House stands for. We want people to feel welcome in Stockholm. We want to help them build their lives, and we want them to succeed. So with the new legislations coming, it of course affects us, and it affects the collaboration that we have with the government. And we also see that among the target group, the fear about the future in these uncertain times. So we will see what the future brings.
In Estonia, all this integration field is under the cultural ministry. And I think it's a really good thing. And the second thing, but I'm really happy about it, is that this Tartu Welcome Center is under the public relations department of City of Tartu, not social department, because this is how we create the story, how the narrative thing, that if we are taking foreigners as people who belong under social department, there's a totally different story if we are talking about foreigners who are under public relations department. So this is one thing, and but another thing is that in Estonia the language courses, A1 and A2 minimum and B1 as well, and adaptation courses are provided from the government. Everybody should, in some cases they have to pass the tests and do these courses. Problems are that the courses, of course, there is not enough teachers, and that's why many courses, most of them are pushed into online systems. Estonians are IT freaks anyway. And this online language courses is kind of highest level. But it's really not a good solution for people who are not used to use all this tech around them, and who are not used to maybe learn the new language or learn another language at all. They maybe have spoken only their home language forever. So this is the thing what we are trying to negotiate and highlight to the government, how to change the system that we could meet the needs of people who are trying to adopt the new system and the culture, how they could support it better. Because this online language coursing is not the good solution, even for Estonian IT freaks. So this is, for example, the one good thing what we try to push through, that the system will change a bit.
Yeah, so I think the main collaboration partners in the national government for us is, one of the main is the Immigration Directorate in Norway. They are the ones who ask the municipalities to settle, for instance. And they are in charge of or guiders in the Integration Act and settlement and the introductory program. So if we have any questions, they are quick to answer. That's very good. It's a good support. But sometimes we don't get enough, or the municipalities don't get enough information about health issues when we are settling refugees. So then the municipality isn't ready, really, to welcome the refugee or the family in the best way. So that's a little minus. Yeah, so we also work with the Directorate of Higher Education and Competence. They are very important coordinators when it comes to increasing competence all over the country around, especially those who are working with Norwegian education, social studies, and also primary school for adults, and language testing. So it's they are very on board about everyone doing things not the same way, but on the same level, and we need to be on the right track. So giving coursing and new flexible curriculums and etc. Yes, also I would like to say that IMDI, the Immigration Directorate, are both initiating and motivating projects that includes coordination or collaboration or being creative. So it's possible to apply for funding, to try out something, to get some more time to try a project or a good idea, and then possibly get it implemented in the system at last.
Thank you very much. Let's look a bit now thematically. We've heard a lot about language, about support to integrating the job markets, a bit about culture. Looking at all the services that are provided by the city, is there any sector where you found it most challenging supporting newcomers, and how did you went about it? How did you go about it?
I think I would have to mention the national government. It is always a challenge with all of the different priorities and capacities, but there is always a way to collaborate, I think. Someone mentioned here that on the stage that integration is a shared responsibility, and while the national government provides the strategic framework, the integration happens locally with with us as a local government and civil society that have proximity and know-how. And while we are included in the decision-making process, I think it would be a great added value if we can contribute more in the dialogue and in the decision-making process, as we know a lot, I think, especially the civil society and their contact that they have with the target group.
One challenge that we have not been able to overcome during these 6 years we are working is about medical doctors, family doctors, because Estonian medical system is based on family doctors, and they can send you to the next level doctors. But there is a lack of doctors in general. It is a problem for Estonians as well. But if you add to this system the language barrier, that the problem is much, much deeper. And we have not found any really good solution instead of online medical consultations, which are costly for foreigners, Estonians as well, but maybe they can cope better. So this medical issue is what we have not been able to solve. And another thing to mention is this being Estonian. I don't know, probably you know the jokes that when COVID was over, then Estonians were relieved because instead of 2 meters distance, we could go back to our normal 5 meters distance. So it is true. We are not greeting our neighbors. Maybe if we live 5 years together, maybe then we will say hello already. So it's not against newcomers, it's just how we are, how we have learned to be during 50 years of under the Soviet Union. And it's really, really difficult to overcome. And it's difficult to explain to the others that it's not personal. It's not about you, it's about us. We are like we are and we cannot help it. Of course, if the new generations come and they see more movies and travel more and have more experiences, by time we are getting better, but it takes really, really slow steps.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's interesting, the top-down, bottom-up, where does what structures do we have, but can we, also, can we get the creativeness from the society and to get a good mix, really? And I don't think we have found the correct balance on that. So we have some good strategic systems, and we are trying to some projects and finding out what works and doesn't work. But the holistic picture, and it was so interesting to listen to the first panel debate about where you can how do we shape our cities to embrace everything in like a holistic picture. We are lacking like that, the whole picture, really. So we are collaborating, but I don't think we got all the factors. So yeah.
And are you in touch with centers or structures that are similar to yours in other cities, nationally or internationally? Or have you learned from colleagues doing the similar job elsewhere, something that helped you in your...
Yes, actually, we opened 2021, as I said, and before that there was long investigation. What would be the aim of Welcome House? Would it actually accelerate the integration in the city? And as a part of the investigation, there was a tour to Canada. We were very inspired by the work with integrating refugees and enabling that integration. And also our community support program that we recently joined, where locals act as welcome guides for the newly for the newcomers, where language is really not needed. It's just about the small gestures, feeling welcome. So we are really inspired by the Canadian model. There is actually another welcome house in Sweden, opened quite recently in Gothenburg. So we've been collaborating a lot with them. Yes.
Before opening this Tartu Welcome Center, I was able to visit in Netherlands one similar type of welcome center. But after that, during the project of first foreign project, we were lucky enough to visit Denmark and Finland. And these were really, really useful study visits. A lot of ideas, a lot of things, what to do, what not to do. Because sometimes it's really important if somebody tells, you know, we tried this, it doesn't work, don't do this way. And we are planning to have similar kind of study visits in the future as well. Because in Estonia, we have association of cities and regions in Estonia. And all this integration topic is handed over to this association. And they are kind of making like a network or umbrella for the people, organizations who are dealing with integration in different locations in Tartu. And this is also a huge and useful group of experts, what we can use if we face something what we have not faced before, and we can always ask and make some kind of teams or something quickly that help. I need some ideas or something. So support from each other and learning from each other, I think, is really important.
Thank you.
Yes, we also have both formal and informal networks in Norway. Both when it comes to the different sectors that we work in and in between. But right now we have also the Adult Education Center that I'm working in have applied for Erasmus Plus also to try and reach out more and see what's out there. Maybe somewhere in Europe. So we're looking forward to that.
Good. Then this is
because we need to work with other cities because in the municipality we're not on our own, but it's not don't have so many, like in the school I work in. We only have one school in Tromsø. That's the Adult Education Center. So we need to work with other cities, both most in Norway, but we should look more out of Norway as well.
Thank you. So this is promising for this project that I'm so doing. Just that. I see that we have 4 minutes or so. So we can have another round of questions unless there are already questions from the floor so that we can start. Please.
Hi. A question to Norway. Your kickoff meeting is 1.5 months after the start of the programs. Is it connected to the content of the programs, the social studies and language studies, or is it just an adaptation time that is given to the person to understand the system so that the questions would arise? And then a question to everyone. Both language courses and social studies or other introductory courses that you have. Who is your service providers? How do you select them? And how do you ensure the quality of the program without the aspect of the remote training and all that? But do you actually have a kind of monitoring system on how do you see whether the program is of a good enough quality? Thank you.
Okay, so I start with the kickoff. It was I could have talked a lot longer, but we only got some minutes. But Kickoff is where the group that starts in the work-based introductory program, when they start up in Norwegian with 3 months Norwegian training, they start up in the introductory program at the same time. So 1.5 months into that program, they meet for 2.5 hours, and they meet the 3 different stakeholders, representatives from the 3 different stakeholders. In the project, when we started this project before the corona pandemics, and it just grew because of the Ukraine war, but we saw that in the beginning we didn't have that meeting point where the refugees could, we could give information, and the refugees could ask a lot of all the questions and their worries and everything. And there was a lot of, they were urolig, anxious and afraid about the period that they were going into the practice, or they were going to start in practice. So we needed to calm them down, and we have this under control. I'm doing this, she's doing that, and okay, but I wonder if, okay, then your program coordinator at the refugee service can answer that face to face. So it's that, just to calm down. And it's worked really good, so we progressed with that. Yeah. And it also shows that we have we are different stakeholders. Okay, if you have questions about the local work market, this is the person to, you shouldn't talk to your teacher, it's your coordinator at the welfare administration.
And as for the second question about language courses, currently in Stockholm, the city is in the process of taking over all of the language courses so that they will be offered in-house by the city and our own schools. But we do still collaborate with some of the schools in the language training. Actually, tomorrow, there is a colleague that will talk about it more. She's from one of the schools that we work with. I think she will be able to answer the question better. We will sit at the same panel. Perfect. Okay, then.
In Estonia, the language courses and adaptation courses are provided by the state, and it's organized by Integration Foundation, and they make open calls and choose the providers. So far, more or less okay.
So in Norway, the adult education centers are providing the language courses. And we do it in daytime, and also in Tromsø we do it in nighttime as well, 2 nights a week for those who can't come during the daytime. Yes.
Sorry, I think you need a microphone, otherwise it won't be heard.
We're just, because in Lithuania we're at the start of this, so we are thinking of how do we actually ensure the quality of the program. Do we set a target for them that this amount of people, like this percentage, has to pass a test? Do we manage the list of the providers in some way, especially if it's an open call for any schools to provide the language trainings? So do you have any kind of this...
quality assurance mechanism?
Mm-hmm. If it's okay, I will leave the question to Louise tomorrow.
In Estonia, it's those companies who can participate in the open call for the Estonian language courses, for example, they have to show every kind of proof that they have qualified teachers who are able to teach for Estonian language for foreigners. And this educational quality has not been an issue.
I'm not sure if I understand your question, but I will try and answer. There are different laws in Norway that regulate both the qualifications that the teachers need to have to teach Norwegian in adult education centers. So this is one, and we have the Integration Act that says that what level you should be in, like before you're right. So you have the right for Norwegian lessons, free Norwegian lessons for a period of time until you have reached a certain goal. So we have Norwegian tests like the Adult Education Center. I don't know how it's done in all other countries, but the Adult Education Center that I work in, we have Norwegian tests 4 times a year at all levels, A1 up to C1. C1 2 times a year, but A1 to B2 4 times a year in Norwegian. So Norwegian exams. And those are, if your rights for Norwegian free Norwegian lessons goes up to B1. When you got B1, you have to pay for more Norwegian lessons. So,
thank you. Any other question? One here.
Yeah. So from my understanding is that the program is some 6 months, and the refugees you are taking in are with higher education. Yeah. So I'm assuming you are taking individuals who have no prior language knowledge, yeah?
Yeah. We have all, but I was only talking about the work-oriented introductory programs, and those are 6 months up to 3 months. Some get work after 3 months, and then maybe you don't want to be in the introductory program anymore, and that's okay as well.
My question is that after 6 months or even a year, the level of language you can achieve is probably A2 or B1.
Yeah.
These are people with the higher education, so do they find a job in their field of work?
No, it's not. You don't have to get the goal of employment is not as a nurse or a doctor.
So it can be anything which they
yes,
can find.
It can be on a lower level. But you can have the rights for more Norwegian lessons for a longer period of time than the introductory program. Yes. Okay. So normally you continue on evening courses, for instance, if you have that capacity.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, time is running out. If there is one last short question, otherwise I would like to ask the speakers if there's a kind of a takeaway, something that maybe you already mentioned or that you want to make sure you mention, that you passed as a message. 2 seconds to think, and then shoot. We can start from that side.
Yes, I think it's important a collaboration in all levels. So we need collaboration on a higher level and between different countries, but we also need to work from the bottom up and see what is in the local communities, what can we work on in the different local communities, so we really take it seriously, what people want and the competence that we have in the different local communities. But we can share and learn from each other.
Yeah, I totally agree. Plus this sharing and learning from each other, I think it's really important and quick way to the better solutions.
I would have to agree as well. And collaboration is the key. And when we opened 2021, it was an avant-garde and complicated project, collaborating all of us, or gathering all of us, but it works. It really makes a difference, so it's worth trying.
Thank you. Then collaboration is key. Might not be easy, but let's try. Thank you.